Hello and welcome to A1R Psychic Radio, and we have a very good show today because we've got two callers coming in to have some readings, which is all very good. And so before we start, I always like to have a little bit of a spiritual chat, and my spiritual chat today is now. I remember before I even developed my mediumship, and we often talk about mediums being, mediums all their life, but it's almost like you can be this amazing artist, but you still need to go to art school. You still need to sort of sit and develop those skills. And so before I was sitting and developing those skills, I remember watching the television and I saw this lady, and I can't for the life of me remember her name, and she was talking about angels and how she would see angels. And she said that, the angels really want to help you. They want to help you in your life, and they want to, do whatever they can to help you. But they'll only do that if you ask. And that sort of really sort of stuck with me. It really resonated with me because I think it's really, and now obviously I'm quite developed as a medium, and it really sort of stuck with me that how important it is that if we want help from our guides and from the spirit world, then it's so important that we ask the spirit world for help. And that may be, in the traditional form of a prayer, but it also may be just sort of like, oh, you know what, up there, I'm really sort of needing some help and some guidance. Please, can you help me? And it's, it's communication. And that's the important thing that you need to understand, communication with the spirit world. And the more that you communicate with them, the more they will try and help you in any way they can, because that's what they are all about. And we often use that expression, love and light, love and light. And, if you think about it, that is exactly who they are. They're about love and giving love, and they live in what they always refer to with me is the kingdom of light. And so that's sort of, I think that's really interesting. They don't refer to it as heaven. They refer to it as the kingdom of light. Isn't that sort of like what we would say in England, a brilliant expression or awesome? I think that's quite sort of quite an incredible terminology that you could use. But anyway, I know that, so it's just something to think about, keep that communication going. And for those people that are listening that aren't getting a reading or do need help or do need, some help, keep that dialogue going, communicate with the angels or with God or with a saint or whoever you feel drawn to in spirit, because they will listen. And so they are there and available to help you. Now, so let's go to some callers. And I believe we have Paula in Swansea, South Wales. Are you there, Paula?
Yeah.
And hello, and how are you today?
I'm okay.
Good. So I am a medium, and I am able to connect to loved ones for you, or I can look to give you guidance. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
Can you connect to loved ones? Do you know names and that?
To a loved one, okay. And is there anyone in particular that you'd like me to connect to?
Yeah.
Who would you like me to connect to?
My mother.
Okay, well, I was...
not my mother, sorry. A friend I lost years ago.
A friend. Is this a female or male that I'm connecting to?
Male.
Just male.
Yeah.
Okay, well, just before I was going to connect to, look to see who you wanted to connect to, I am aware that your father is here in the spirit world, and he wants to quickly come in and say something. It's almost like he's jumped in ahead, because he feels that there is some important information that he needs to give to you. And I feel that this is a long overdue apology to you that needs to be spoken. Would that make sense to you, Paula?
Yeah.
Because he feels, and what I'm being told by my guides, that this is the reason why this is so important is it's because it will give great healing to you. And he's saying to me that he's saying to me that he didn't treat you in a way that would be considered fatherly love, and sort of in a fatherly way. And he makes me feel as though he's ashamed to almost discuss who he was and what he'd done, in his lifetime. And he's saying to me that he's so ashamed, but he wants to apologize to you, and let you know that his time in spirit hasn't been an easy one, because he has been tackled about his actions and about his behavior quite thoroughly, and he has been asked to look at himself and go inwards in quite a strong way. And he's telling me that he has sort of almost like no choice but to be sort of sorry for his actions. And this is why he says to me that if he could turn the clock back, he would certainly want to do things differently, because he does feel embarrassed. He says that it wasn't just you that was affected by his actions, it was other members of your family too. And he says that the scars and the wounds lay deep in all of you, in your family. Would that make sense to you, Paula?
It would, but it wouldn't, because I don't know a lot about the family. They've never talked to me. I don't know where to find them. I don't know who they are, nothing.
Right, I didn't quite hear you, but I'm going to carry on, because we don't have an awful lot of time. But I'm just asking if your friend can come through. Your first request was your mum, and she's just come forward, and she's saying to me that she too has an apology to make, because she feels that she allowed the difficulty of life to sort of happen, and she's sort of almost, she's equally ashamed of her actions, and she's saying to me that she would like to put things right as well. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah.
Have you got a sister?
Yeah.
Because I just heard the word sister, and I'm being told that your sister struggled also with family life, and I'm getting the feeling that she is your sister in spirit.
No. I don't know if I have any there, but the one I got is not.
I do apologise then, because I've made that mistake, but I just get that feeling with her that she is she had an enormous amount of struggles as a result of her upbringing and her family life, and I'm being told that it almost affected her more than it affected you. She had a tougher time, and than you did. It's not to say that you had it easy, because you didn't, but I'm just being told that she had a tougher time.
Yeah.
And your mum is saying that she has had to spend quite a bit of time with your father, discussing their relationship, because they had difficulties in their lifetime, and I feel that they've had to sort of really thrash out their relationship and look at how they've treated each other. Because what I'm being told is that they didn't always treat each other with respect. And I don't know who I'm referring to, but I know that one of them or both of them didn't treat the other with respect. And I'm being told that I'm also being told that it's being concluded in the spirit world that you are long overdue healing, and they're asking me to put you on the healing list because you need to receive healing. Your suffering that you've had in your life has gone on too long, and they're telling me that you need healing, and this healing is coming to you. You're going to feel more uplifted, emotionally stronger as a result of the healing that's going to take place.
Okay.
I hope that helps. I know that you asked for a friend, but initially asked for your mum, but they pushed their way through and needed to speak their words. And I think that their main words, their main thing is the apology from both of them, and also the healing that is coming your way.
Okay.
I promise you, I will put you on my healing list. I send out healing every day, and I sit for about an hour and a half every day sending out healing. So I promise I'll do that for you.
Bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Paula, for ringing in, and it's been a pleasure to communicate for you. Okay, thank you.
I you too. Thank you.
Okay,
bye.
Bye-bye. Right, so we have Jessica in Venice, Louisiana. Are you there, Jessica?
Yes.
Hello. I'm intrigued by the word Venice. It doesn't have any gondolas, does it? Or anyway, I am a medium, and I'm able to connect with a loved one, or I'm able to connect with my guides and give you guidance. Is there a particular way that you would like me to work?
A loved one.
Okay, and who would that be?
Mark, he goes by a nickname Roomrup.
Mark, did you say?
Yeah.
And okay. And are you related to Mark, or is this a friend?
A friend.
Right. Okay. I think we've got a day of apologies here today. Would you understand why Mark might need to apologise to you?
What?
Would you understand why Mark might want to apologise to you?
Yeah.
Because I've got a gentleman here, and he's in floods of tears, and he's saying, "I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry." Would that make sense to you as I connect?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Good. I've got the right person. So, what I would like to say is that Mark, um, he he feels that he lets you down, and he feels that he shouldn't have gone to the spirit world in the way that he did, without considering your feelings. Would that make sense to you?
Yes. I'd like to know what happened.
It's your reading, and it's entirely up to you how you wish to do this.
Okay.
And he's saying to me that he's saying to me that he's saying to me that he shouldn't have gone, like and he's saying to me that and he's drawing my attention to around my throat, and I feel that he makes me feel like he took his own life. Would that make sense to you?
Yeah, he took his life?
It makes me feel as though it's something happened, but he was in control of it and shouldn't have. And he's saying it shouldn't have happened, and therefore he lost his life. But he makes me feel like he was implicated in his passing. In other words, his actions were implicated in his passing. And I feel
that somebody killed him?
Sorry?
Did somebody kill him?
He the way he's describing it is that he did certain things that caused him to pass, and he feels guilty for his actions that he took that caused him to pass, and he's making me feel that he makes me feel that he's responsible. If he hadn't have done the things that he'd done or been the person that he was, he wouldn't have been in this situation right now. And he's also saying to me that it's caused you a lot of heartache and a lot of pain, and you and soul searching as well. And he's saying to me that he wishes that he's got regrets for his actions, regrets for his behavior. And he says that he shouldn't have, almost like he's doing something that is, how can I put it? He makes me feel as though he is inclined to be, do things that are, I don't know whether it's unethical or against the law, or in the wrong company, or that sort of thing. He makes me and he's just giving that to me in my feeling, and I just know that he didn't always do the right thing, and he's saying to me that if he hadn't have been the person that he was, he would still be alive today. Because of his actions, this is what killed him. He is taking full responsibility for his actions, and he says that it is almost like it's down to him. He's blaming himself for his actions of what he did and how he was. And he's saying to me that if he could turn the clock back, he would be a better person, because he makes me feel as though he wasn't really in the light. He wasn't really, he wasn't behaving in a good way in life. He was a little bit sort of underhand in his actions, and he makes me feel that this is a price you pay for the actions that you take. And he's not saying whether somebody killed him or not, but he's blaming himself for his actions that caused his passing. And he's also saying to me, it wasn't worth it. Like, his actions wasn't worth it. Not only did he lose his life, but he says he hurt many people in the process.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Thank you.
I'm also being told that okay, he's also telling me that he wants to make amends now that he's in spirit. He feels that he's got to put some of his wrongs right. He feels that he needs to really look long and hard at himself and be a better person. And he's making a decision that to sort of he's showing me certain people around him in his life, and he's making a decision that he will be helping them in their lives so that they can be more uplifted and have a better life. And he says that he's been instructed by higher beings in spirit to this is what he's got to do. He's got to put his wrongs right, because he tells me that there is a long list of his wrongs. He makes me feel like he was on the wrong side of the law. He committed crimes, and he wasn't always kind and nice to people where he should have been. And he's also saying to me that he's thanking you for ringing in, and he's saying to me that you at times were kind to him when others weren't, because a lot of people around him sort of lost information or lost their way with him. So anyway, thank you for ringing in, and I hope that helps. And I just know that there is a big apology with him. So it's really interesting when you look at the readings that I've brought through today. Both of them are an apology. Both of them are looking at their lives, looking at the way they've been, and have a real big need to apologize. And this is something as a medium that I see time and time again, where people have a need to put things right and have a need to change their ways as a result of passing and being held responsible for their actions. Because one thing that I do know is that when you go to spirit, you have to sort of really look at your. People talk about the Akashic records, and there's lives that are put in vaults, and so when you go over, you have to sort of really look at long and hard at your life and look at sort of how you've been and how you are acting, and I know that I see this so many times where people wish to come forward and apologize, and that's because of their actions that they have committed in this lifetime. And I know that with spirit, they want you to be always in the light or put things right, which I find really interesting. And so I hope that you've enjoyed this show. And if you want to find me at all, my name is Gail Moffat, and you can find me on Facebook. And I also have a YouTube channel which talks about my spiritual connections to some of my spiritual guides. And that includes God and Jesus and Mother Mary and people like that. So thank you for listening, and I will look forward to seeing you all next week. Okay, goodbye.